Hey guys, welcome back to this week's vlog. It's number 3, and it's apparent that as I continue, it is getting... Here, it's just unruly. It's getting a little bit more and more personal. I'm gonna kind of stray away from the school only part and actually talk about more things that matter to me week to week. Feelings, school will be a part of it eventually. And events and stuff that's happened week to week. This week, I wanted to talk about something that I've been seeing on my Facebook feed a lot here recently, and I can admit that I'm a little nervous to talk about because I'm not quite sure how it's going to be taken. I mean no offense. I don't mean to belittle or invalidate or take anyone out of the argument. I just wanted to impart my view on what I see, and I feel that it was better to talk about rather than type a very long text about it, or a very long post about it. In recent weeks, I've seen a lot of stuff on representation in regards that obviously the Ghost in the Shell movie is on the rise, as in Iron Fist and stuff like that. I don't know a lot about Iron Fist, so I don't feel that I can talk about that appropriately. But in any way, I'm not really going to get into the ins and outs of even Ghost in the Shell. A lot of people talk about whitewashing and being represented and in films like that. The truth of the matter is, for me, that I don't care that ScarJo is playing Motoko Kusanagi. I don't care that she's white, because Hollywood only understands one color, and that is green, and the movie's going to get the exposure and possibly make money on the pure premise that people know that actress. What I saw when I first saw Ghost in the Shell announced as a live action movie, was this. That I had finally arrived as a geek, because in high school and middle school I was, an anime geek. I liked science fiction, I liked RPGs and video games and stuff. And I was picked on for it. I was picked on my appearance more, because I was fair-skinned and dark-haired, and a lot of the people, especially in my middle school, were not. They were tanned and bleaching their hair blonde. I delight in that these things have become more mainstream, because I feel that now I can appropriately talk about them, and people can be equally as excited about seeing those things, and it could mean more things become mainstream. More things come out, I get a chance to talk to people, and maybe I can point to them to the older stuff, and then they can get excited about those things too. And it creates more of a conversation that I just wasn't able to have. Trust me, I don't think ScarJo represents me any more than if an Asian actress would have represented some of my Asian friends. Me and ScarJo have 0 things in common. She's rich, chiseled, flawless, or at least the appearance, and I am none of those things. I also don't require her to represent me. I can see myself in characters without sharing their race. That doesn't make me better. That doesn't make me some weird moral high ground. That's just how I approach it, and that's just how I personally approach it. I will tell you that growing up, I didn't feel any more represented in a Barbie doll, because clearly was not me. But I still played with them because that's what, was available to me. I never felt like I couldn't do anything. I never felt because that I was a woman that I couldn't get into certain things. That I couldn't train into certain things. My father worked for NASA for more than 25 years, and at no point did I ever feel that I couldn't go into that field at some point, or that I couldn't work there. Obviously, you grow up and you realize, things are different for you, and those things change, and then you pursue different options. I don't feel limited. And people will tell me, well, Lou, you're white. Of course you don't. And that's not the case at all. I never felt at any given point that I was limited. As a woman, as any of those things. Growing up, you would all remember, forgive the background noise, the airplanes were very active today for some reason. If you recall, growing up in kindergarten, you were required to have, the box of crayons. It was a school thing. But not everybody had the same box of crayons. Some kids had that illustrious 64 count box with the sharpener in the back. Everybody wanted that box. They wanted that box because they thought to themselves, what could be the things that I could create with that box? How could I paint my world? A lot of us ended up with the 8-count rose art box. A lot of green and brown, a lot of landscapes, a lot of orange or yellow people, blue people. We, used what we had. I'd like to know when we switched. When we wanted to color our world with the 64 count box. And now we're okay with defining it with just 8. Even applying those 8 colors to myself. I am more than some white, cis, hetero, wife and mother atheist. I'm more than those things. And to me, you are more than those things. But for some of you, unfortunately, that's all I know about you. And I want to know more. I just am not entirely sure how to approach it. Those things are a part of you, but don't make you you. I am delightfully ordinary, wonderfully mediocre, and I know that people will rush to my aid and to the comments and say, no, Lou, you're not, you're great, you're special, etc. But it's not self-deprecation. I'm okay with being the cog. I'm okay with being ordinary. Because someone has to be. Not necessarily that I have to be, but I am okay with being that. I am unique, as we are all unique, but I am not special. I'm surely not, a herald of any type. So forgive me if I don't support you on a macro scale, that I will support you personally in the fights that you deem important to yourself, that I will support you in those fights in the way I feel necessary, on a personal level. Forgive me if I don't stand on the street corner with you in your signs. That is not how I am. It's not how I operate. I'm not unique in that respect. I am not an activist. I am a protector. And when I see it, I will protect it. But I can't be made to feel about all of it, otherwise I will lose it. I can't protect everything. And I try. So I protect the things that I know, that I see, and I do it that way. It doesn't mean that I care about the issue any less. It just means I don't care about it in the same way that you do. I don't. I just want to be able to live my life. I want to be able to connect with others. I want to know your loves, your likes, your fears. I want to know what keeps you up at night. I want to know your dreams too. I want to know your goals. But I also want equal footing. I want to be able to talk about the things that make me scared. I want to talk about the things that I love without being treated like I don't know what struggle is. Just because I don't talk about it doesn't mean I don't. And just because others talk about their struggle doesn't mean that they don't have bright shining moments either. I don't believe that. I want you to love. I want you to feel safe. But forgive me if I'm not going to fight the way you fight. You can feel free to message me in a direct message. And we could talk more about this. About what you fear. About what you love. And what you like. We can have a true discussion on representation. Help me understand. Don't assume that I won't. Because I want to. I want to understand. I'm interested in your story. But at the same rate, I would like some interest in mine rather than assumption. I know this is very personal, and I implore people to not get overly defensive. That this would inspire discussion rather than dissension. So I ask that of you. That if there's anything that you'd like to know more, my opinion on, feel free to send me a direct message. Or in the comments, but please remain civil. I'm not calling anyone out in particular. I am purely speaking on my behalf. In what I see. I will never tell you to not be afraid. I will never tell you to not love that person. I will never tell you you shouldn't do that. If you ask my advice, I will give it to you honestly. But I will not if you never ask it. I feel that people should learn and learn to make their own mistakes or successes. I be your pillar in those moments. I will be the shoulder you can cry into talking to. Even if I'm not on that corner with you. I will make you feel delightfully ordinary. Unabashedly normal. Because that's what I see of you. You're more to me than those 8 count boxes that people want to describe you as. And I'm more than that too. Here's to being delightfully ordinary and wonderfully mediocre.